It's everybody.
It's helped Diptac live on, really. All right, we're back, everybody. Turning it all back over to Bo Schwartz, our lovely dungeon master. Bo, take it away.
So in the great lounge chamber, the fire has not been lit yet, but there's a unlit fire in the middle. You see all the lizard folk from all the different houses, Nash, sitting intermingled now
Yeah.
in various lounge places, and they're licking on salt sticks. So a lot of them have these sticks, and they're going as they lick their sticks.
Yeah.
And you see your friends in the corner, Varel sitting with Priestess Taipala, Hope, and Stanley.
Is there a chair over there?
On your arm is the purple lizard folk, Molajanda Zontlar.
All right.
You just
I'm going to say, well, it's been a pleasure to meet you. And I'm going to sort of try to wiggle my arm free a little bit.
She holds onto your arm fast and says, "Would you introduce me to your family?"
Oh, sure. Okay, come on over here then, and I'll head their direction.
Okay.
And
So she
I'll
follows along with you.
give them the look like, whew, man, that was a trip and a half to the old can. But I'm better now, kind of hoping they know, they just sort of buy it. That I was out taking a dumper. And I say, my friends, I met somebody on my way in here. She was in the poo catchers, and her name is, and I forgot her name. What's her name?
Molajanda.
Her name is Moljanda. She would like to meet you, so I guess this is where we do it. This is Varel. He's a warrior lizard. He's real cool, and we like him a lot. Right next to him there, that's Hope. She's actually a queen. And I guess in a way we're sort of protecting her here because she doesn't have sort of a allotment of guards or anything walking around with her, which is kind of weird. And then you got Stanley over here. He's the one that looks like he's too good for all this.
I have met them now.
Cool.
May we
Well,
sit?
it's been. Oh, you want to sit? Did you have a place somewhere else you were planning on sitting tonight?
Before we sit, Nash, can you get me a salt stick?
Sure. And I'll walk away from her and go find a salt stick and bring it
As
back.
Nash goes to one of the attendants to get a salt stick, the purple lizard folk kneels down and sits on one of the pillows next to you.
Okay.
The attendant hands you a salt stick. It's a piece of rebar with a bunch of crystal clusters on it. They're blue and purple.
Okay. Hands it to her or me?
He gives it to you because
Okay.
you bring it back to your new friend.
All right. I'll turn to my wherever side she's on and say, "Ma'am, your salt stick."
Thank you.
You're
Sit
welcome.
with us, Nash.
Oh, okay. So I'll sit.
You sit next to Molajanda Zontlar.
Yes, Nash, regale us with tales of your trip to the restroom.
It's not nearly as eventful as you might imagine. And any tales
I have imagined quite a bit, considering it's been, quite a bit of time since you left.
Yeah, let's not estimate the total time. That'd be great. Look, I've had to talk to this new friend. That takes time. So, I'm here on Vorel's errand. I'm not going to treat his species poorly. They're friendly to me. I may as well be friendly to her. She seems very nice.
Well, you missed out on a great deal. We had a meal. Vorel walked and spoke with people. Another thing of interesting note, there were 2 sleeping guards in the hallway on the way here. Seemed to be magically asleep. Don't you find that interesting, Nash?
Oh, magically asleep, you say? That's an interesting emphasis on that word. I wouldn't know much about that. That's too bad. It sounds like they're overworked. Maybe some additional guards or some other training. Give them a break once in a while. Vacation, perhaps.
Also of note was, as we made our way here, we had a nice view of what they use for the lavatories here, and oddly enough, I didn't see you. Is there multiple floors to it, perhaps, that I missed on my way in?
No, but I fell in one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. I fell in one, and then I
Look at Varel.
mushed a guy down there. They catch your poo, that's why they call him that. I mushed him and thought, well, this is no good. And It was either dedicate the rest of my life to accidental poo catcher or get out of there. So I slumped him over and stood on his head and climbed my way out of the hole. So that was probably when you looked down that. That's a mistake anybody could make. No judgment here, Stanley. No judgment here.
And was this before or after you met your new friend?
That happened before. And then yes, then my new friend I met here, and she's great. Have you met Stanley? Have I introduced Stanley? This is Stanley.
You did introduce Stanley.
Okay.
And I sense that he is touched as well.
In the way you described in the other room, yes, he also has met. He knows a little of the arcane arts. He knows a little bit of that stuff.
It is awe-inspiring, Varel, of the Keurig family. Wait, Keurig? Yeah, not Keurig.
The Keurig family.
Famous coffee
Of
shop.
the Keurig
A
family.
long line of coffee makers.
That you surround yourselves with touched ones.
I attract powerful friends.
The Zontlars, too, are touched. We keep our dwellings in the Daemonvold, where our powers are at their peak. We shy not away from our gifts, where most lizard folk would. The Zontlars are deeply touched.
And if I were to make such a bold assumption, if these gates were closed, your people would be in a rather bad state.
Which gates? You talk of the veil between worlds.
Yes.
I do not think that closing any gates to the veil would reduce or diminish our sensitivity.
Well, that is good.
We, like all other houses, are here with the... what is the best word to describe it? The blessings of the 12, who bid us fight demons. If you suggest that we are allied with them, you are mistaken.
Not at all. Just curious how deep this hole goes.
You have been speaking to the Zarks.
I have.
They are a deeply spiritual people. They reject the touching. But they speak true, and their family is one of honor.
Well, Nash, having fallen in a poo hole, I imagine you are in a bad way. Let me help you out with that, and I'll begin to very meticulously cast prestidigitation on Nash to an obnoxious degree.
Okay, and so bits of dirt and fleck and fecal matter begin disappearing from your robes and bandages.
Well, I didn't really. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks. Go ahead. That's good. I appreciate it. I do.
Did Nash start to yell that, or was that just purely Scott?
Sounded like it was Nash's voice. All right. Well, Vorel, says Taipala, it is time for the tale to begin. Would you light the flame? You have Fushi's blessing. Show them your blessing.
All right, I'll stand and walk over to the center and grab one of the. Put my hand into the center. I mean, do they do the teepee sort of style fire, or?
The sticks of wood and various burnables are built up in that way. Yes.
Cool. Then I will put my hand into the center of it, and using my Storm Soul desert power, I will alight an unattended flammable object, which is the wood there in the center.
Okay, so you put your hand on it, will it alight, and whoosh! And you hear a collective ooh from all of the lizard folk in the room, except Taipala. Ooh, it's like clapping, but for lizard folk. Ooh.
Really? They're like dark crystal guys. That's cool.
They all chant "whoa" as they are impressed with your ability to spontaneously ignite a fire with your hand. Thank you, Borel has the blessing of Fushi as Fushi's emissary in our land. I say it is thus. Ooh.
Can I lean over to her and go, and he's single? It's one of your
you do
kind. Yeah. He's a handsome
She
man.
looks-
I'm trying to push her
So
off.
she-
I don't want her near me after that.
It was no, that's Typala that said that.
Sorry. I thought it was my
Melisandre.
purple. Okay.
Melisandre the purple is definitely still grabbing your arm next to you.
All right.
And Typala makes her way to the front area in front of Orp, and Orp sort of looks up and goes, "Is it time for magic now? Nashy! Borel, it's gonna be magic time. It's so good. I like magic." He's chewing on his things. And Typala makes the front and begins to speak, but her voice booms and echoes out in a strange way. And she begins telling a tale. Tale of, and I have to get my notes. Sorry about that. A tale of Cloche, the hidden claw, the great green dragon. And as she begins to tell the tale, the room falls silent except you hear the licking of, 50 or so salt sticks. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away. Oops. The Council of 12 lived amongst the seat of the stars. A great firmament of endless jungle, of endless life and waters as far as the eye could stretch. There, Cloche hunted with his brothers and sisters. Wait, is it his? Yes, his brothers and sisters. He was closest with Telestar the Blue, a great blue dragon. There they hunted day after day together, bringing home a feast for their family. One day, Telestar sought to capture a star, a great creature that eluded all dragons. Cloche warned Telestar to not attempt to fight the star. But Telestar, whose name had star in it, said, "No, it was destiny for me to mount this star and tame it, kill it, and bring it for their people." Cloche felt a new feeling of darkness inside. If Telestar indeed captured a star and returned it, Telestar would be known for her greatness, and he would not. And he would lose his friend, as they would forever become divided by his capture. In secret, Cloche, in order to save his friend and save their friendship, spoke magical words that caused Telestar to fall into a slumber. And as she says that, the fire begins changing shape, and you see a great dragon sort of illusion come out of the fire. Whoosh! And you see a great dragon made of fire fly around and go, "Wah!" And you hear "Woo, woo" from all the lizard folk, and then Orb goes, "Wow!" from the back. Cloche snuck in the night while Telestar slept and used his great claws to shred her wings. "Oh no!" says Orb. And as this tale begins to unfold, you hear the sounds in the hallway of marching. Typala is briefly interrupted in her storytelling as guards round the corner and filter into the room, filling it up. And Zershil comes in and says, "Halt these proceedings at once!" Yeah. And the elder of families gets up and says, "What is the meaning of this?" "My brother, Bamey, the Tyrant Slayer, has been found dead. Tyrant's Bane in his back. In our chamber of artifacts."
Hope's gonna watch Nash through all of this
She points her
slyly.
finger over at Varel. "It is the invitees of Mirian, my brother. Those humans who know nothing but treachery have brought dishonor upon my house and slain my brother in cold blood. In the back." You hear, "Ooh." And everyone begins to get up, and Omnom stands up. "Surely it is the humans who did this."
But how could we have done it if we've been here this whole time? Stanley and I have never left the room where you all have been.
"Quiet your lying tongue. How do I not know lies pour forth from it? My brother has been killed. My lover has been killed. We will find out. Who is it? No longer dishonor yourself by speaking in untruths and lies."
Says the liar.
Orb sort of looks and goes, "Is this still the story?"
He's such a dumbass.
And then Miriam sort of pushes his way through to his sister and says, Now, sister, please stop. Is what you're saying true? Our brother is dead?" "Yes, our brother is dead. He is found dead in the Chamber of Artifacts with the Tyrant Slayer in his back. I know this is what you wanted, brother." And Miriam sort of looks around and goes, Now, wait a second. There is treachery among us." And he looks over to you, Varel, and he says, "Was it you?"
How am I capable of this deed, while feasting on snakes and giving speeches in your great hall?
"I should be more clear. Was it your instruction? Did you use your poisonous human subterfuge to kill my brother?"
Tell me of the deed I must perform to clear my name.
"You do not stand accused quite yet. I asked you a simple question."
Believe me, I find you all extremely confusing, and I would have most likely murdered the wrong one.
Zershil speaks up and says, "This is not a direct answer. It is yes or no. Speak with honor, Varel."
No, I did not use my human wiles, my time apart from your people, to execute some great plan without my hand.
And as you say that, guards begin filtering in with spears, and they begin pointing them at all the guests. Not just you, but they also come to your direction. And Zershil says, "We will find out the truth of the matter. Someone invited here tonight killed my brother, and I will have my vengeance satisfied. No one will bring such dishonor upon my house and not pay the price."
Why would it have to be someone who is invited here tonight?
Why would it not be? There is one among you who seeks the power of the Great Fang, but refuses to do so with honor. You hear Orp going from that, like, "What's going on? Nash? Nash,
Yes, Orp.
stop what you're doing. And what's going on?" Everybody sounds angry.
Everyone's a little uptight in here. They think that we hurt, I guess, one of your people. One of your lizard people.
Miriam speaks up and says, "The Great Fang Orb, my brother has been murdered in the Chamber of Artifacts here tonight." "Berber? He's been killed by someone who wishes you and our house dead." Takes him a minute and he goes, "Oh no! What are we going to do about it?" "Well, we have to figure out who's guilty of doing this treachery." And then Orp looks over to you, Varel, and the party, and he says, What's going on? Who killed him?
Wasn't us.
Miriam wants to know.
We didn't do it.
There's a lot of tension in the room as everyone sort of eyes dart around. Spears are pointed.
But Marion, how would you know that whoever murdered your brother would also want to murder Orb? That's quite the conclusion to draw. It's like assuming that only one of the guests are guilty.
It's got to be someone here. What lizard would deign to do such a thing? We are not a people to conspire in the night to kill others. It's a very humanoid thing to do, a softling thing to do.
I'm not arguing it wasn't someone here. I'm just saying you told Orp that they wanted to kill your brother. They killed your brother, and then they wanted to kill him as well. That makes no sense.
Orb speaks up and he goes, Nash, eh?
Yeah.
So if you didn't do it, and Vorl didn't do it, then maybe you can figure out who did it.
If it calms everyone down and they'll put their spears down, we can all work together and find out who did. But I can tell you right now, for a fact, it wasn't me, it wasn't Stanley, and it certainly wasn't Hope and Varel, who haven't budged from this place.
Okay, persuasion roll, please.
All right. That will be... Oh, I have an awesome bonus for that. That's 19 total.
All right. I think I believe that you didn't do it because you're my friends. And you don't murder people, right?
Right. Not unless they deserve it, Orb.
And I know, Vorel, that you want to become king because eating mans is great. But we're friends. And I like eating mans. And as much as we're friends, I'm okay. It's important. I get to keep eating mans. So it's nothing personal. How about, remember that town we met in? Vorel? Stanley will remember too.
I do.
Remember there was a sheriff? Why don't you be a sheriff?
Sure.
I'll make you the sheriff, Vorel. Sheriffs figure out what happened. Miriam looks at you, Vorel, and says, what is a sheriff?
A lesser ruler, a governor, a protector, an investigator.
And this is the Great Fang's decree. He looks at Orp, and Orp goes, he picks up one of the mans, he goes, yep, you figure it out, and then we get back to magics, okay? And Miriam turns to you and he says, well, it looks like you're in charge of the investigation, Vorel.
Wonderful.
Miriam in Draconic explains what's happened to the rest of the room. And you hear, ooh.
We will require an honorable attendant, one who can report our dealings, our findings, our every move, that can be trusted and will not dissuade this council into believing that we are up to further misdeeds in our investigation.
Also, Orp, the last time you had a sheriff in your life, you squashed him. No squashing Varel.
Whoa. Oh, yeah! I did squish him.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to make trouble for me.
Well, Varel won't do that, but no stepping on him. Okay, is that our deal?
Okay. He's got food in his mouth, or man's in his mouth as he says that. Jurshil, understanding what's going on, says, I do not accept this outcome. There will be no justice in finding who did it. I know that I did not do it. And I will make what is right. And she points her claw at you, Varel. She says, I submit myself and issue a challenge to Varel Rasvim Kurik in a scaling and to Orp the ceiling. I will join the scaling tomorrow and beat both of these fools, as now I am the elder of the Fengar clan, and I will do what my brother did not. I will take leadership of Razak Val and bring a new dawn to this world. She looks to Miri and says, have your fun investigating. The truth will be known tomorrow on the sand. And she turns around with her two guards of the retinue that came in and leaves. Miriam looks to the room and says, it is known my sister has entered the scaling. She too will join in the combat to determine our great fang tomorrow. The lizard folk go, ooh, as they lick their salt sticks.
Nash raises his hand. I have a question.
So who are you addressing?
Him, little guy.
All right.
Tyrion, or what's his name? Darian?
Miriam the morsel.
Marion, yeah.
Little 3-foot tall lizard folk.
How does it work with three? Do they fight simultaneously or take turns?
It is to the death with the three of them in the ring.
That's insane. But it's your tradition. It's fine. You should do single elimination tournament.
My sister is impatient when it comes to her brother. And now that I fear that all rationality has been lost now that she has been killed. But it is her right, as eldest of the Fengar clan, to issue the scaling that my brother would not.
Are you guys all cool with the incest part? Him and your brother, your dead brother, doing it?
What is this word? Incest.
It's where family members.
Nash.
Yeah. Yes. Is this one of those times I shouldn't? Okay, I'll shut up.
Perhaps not right now.
Okay. I mean, they all do. They all do seem to be ignoring it, though. So I just want to get it out there that this is odd for me. But hey, you're lizards. You have your own way. I'm not here to judge. Okay. You wanna bump uglies with your sister? Go ahead. Not my job to say one way or the other. And I'll back up and put my hands together and do nothing.
Omnum Cinderborn stands up and says, clearly, there is no need for an investigation, Varel. It is one of your softling companions who has done this.
He's implying that one of the three of us have done this.
Let this matter be swift. Kill them, whether or not you have findings.
Would you really want such disgrace to fall on the Fengar household, though? One of us, a fleshling, able to kill one of you great lizard folk?
You used magic and tricks. You were touched.
I have no magic.
Then you did it. You admit it.
I'm just very sad that you would assume such weaklings would be able to take down one of your kind so quickly.
It is House Fengar. The Cinderborn only respect Fengar out of duty. The Cinderborn are stronger than the Fengar. It is no surprise to me that Bamey was bested by a fleshling. Am I right?
Maybe you guys
His
should
fellow
just,
Cinderborn go, yeah.
maybe the Cinderborn should just face them and you guys fight it out amongst yourselves and keep us out of it.
Why would we fight amongst ourselves here?
I don't know. It
It
just seems like
we have
you're
people that we can fight.
blaming your problem on.
Cracks his knuckles and looks at you, Nash.
We've been good guests and you guys are blaming us. I think that's just terrible hospitality.
You are not my guests. You are guests of the Fengar and of the Great Fang.
Yeah.
The Cinderborn were invited. That does not mean we have to massage your scales.
And are we not sheriffed by that same great fang that you respect? Cool your accusations, lest they fall back on you.
I have no fear of accusations. It was not I who slew Bamey, the Tyrant Slayer, in cold blood. In fact, I'm lizard folk. All slayings are in cold blood.
I was
I
going to
mean,
say, aren't you
in a
all?
dishonorable manner. I did not slay him with warm blood. Tyrion goes, how do you propose we proceed, Sheriff?
It seems you respect action, yet you have continued to burden my mind and my companions with words. We should investigate the site of this murder, again, in the attendance of one that will be trusted to document our moves, so our dealings do not fall back on us in treachery. The very same treachery that took the life of one you so respect this evening.
That sounds very prudent. So we keep the gods here and we take a retinue of gods to the site of the murder.
To the archive.
Omnom speaks up and he says, one of us should go as well. Your
I
would be
think-
my
may be
pleasure.
plotting.
I think Omnom would be an excellent envoy. If we can convince him, who is so obviously opposed to us, then who better to clear our names?
And Molijanda speaks up and says, I too wish to see the site of the murder.
Then let us proceed.
Very good. So of the four of you, are you all going? Anyone staying behind?
I'm going.
I'm
I'll
going.
go.
Okay.
If I'm accused of this, I'm definitely going.
Okay. All right. So the party, Miriam, Omnom, and Molajanda, who still has your arm, Nash, all make your way down the hallway with the retinue of guards. You make your way to the T junction or the four-way junction. Make a right up to the north, and turn right.
Hold on, sorry. Just are the guards that were there still there?
Yeah. So the room filled with guards with spears, and everyone's under guard.
I
so to
mean,
speak.
the two that were asleep when we passed. We're going past
they're
them.
they're still there. Yes.
Okay. And are they both awake now?
Mm-hmm.
But we are moving past them
Okay.
to the
Before
hallway they
we
guarded.
before we go past the one that we woke up, I want to ask him. After you woke up from your little nap, who all passed through this hallway? Past you, down towards the main area.
I saw no one but Bamey, the Tyrant Slayer, who took a break from dinner
Other
to
than
return.
that,
There was
nobody
one
else
other.
in or out.
There was one other that I saw. Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines.
Hey,
I did
ho!
not see him enter,
Hey,
but I saw him leave.
well, that's because I was with this lovely lady here on my arm. Let's not,
Well-
let's not,
You were
Sure.
not
They-
with the lovely lady. The beautiful
Surely there
Molijanda
was,
was not with you.
One more, though. Jershil reported to us that she found her brother dead. How
Oh,
would she
yes.
have gotten into the room?
You are correct. Zershil also came this way and then returned. I did not include that in my report to you because it was after the fact.
After the fact of what?
Of the slaying of Bamey.
When did she go past you the first time? Do you remember?
Perhaps a minute before she came running back out.
So, if I'm to understand the events, nobody came in or out. Bamey at some point went up. you fell asleep, or was this after you woke up?
It was after I woke up.
Bamie went past you.
No, Bamie went past me. Then I was woken up by you with your loud clap. Then after that, Nash Maggard came from that direction of the solar mines.
And then Jershel, after that,
Then Jershel went in to the north room and then came out immediately after with the bad news.
thank you. You have been helpful eventually.
Some of it might be my fault, not the character.
All right, keep rolling with it.
All right, so the procession makes its way to the end of the hallway, makes a right, and you all see the Chamber of Artifacts. Along the walls are skeletons that are mounted, as well as artifacts, chairs, shields. In the center of the room, you see Bamie lying face down on the ground with a large bone polearm stuck into its back. And there's a place in the center of this room where the polearm would be mounted that's taken off. You also see that there's a chest in the back of the room, and it's opened.
What is normally in this chest?
Who do you say that to?
Any of the lizard folk that would know?
We got Mirian, Omnom, and Molajanda, plus some guards, so probably Mirian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mirian goes, "Oh, the great egg of Fengar is in here." And he walks over, having seemingly just first noticed this. He walks over and looks in, and the egg is gone. A great heirloom of the House Fengar, of the lizard that was to be, is no longer here. Someone has stolen the egg of Fengar.
Hold on a second. That was an egg with an heir to the throne in it? Gorp's egg?
No,
Or...
it was an heirloom.
Oh. Is it a living egg? Like...
No, it's been preserved for centuries. It is an heirloom. It is something that we've passed on. It is of great sentimental value to my house.
Why would anybody want to steal something like this?
I know not. To humiliate us, perhaps.
I mean, is that all it is? Like, if this is gone, does it change anything?
Well, it is said to have a secret touching. And Molajanda perks up and says, "Yes, keeping an egg like this would probably mean that there was something unusual about it. It was a source of magical energy. And that you were drawn to keep it. Perhaps. I don't know. It's one of the many heirlooms the House Fengar has. I do not know its properties, but that it is of important sentimental significance to the House of Fengar. He who never was."
Nash and Stanley, could you stay and see if you could maybe detect any magical things around this chest? While, Melisandre, could you join me over here by the corpse and maybe use your magic to see if anything is by Bamie?
Okay.
This is a ruse to get her to let go of Nash.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Persuasion then, please.
Okay. Ooh. 22.
All right. She lets go of Nash immediately. "Come, Red Lady. You wish to examine the corpse with me?"
Yes, I know sometimes things can happen that I can't see.
"Do you wish the corpse to tell a tale?"
Could you make it?
Miriam speaks up and says, "I would prefer if you did not profane against my brother's corpse."
But if we
He
could
is-
gather information about what happened.
"Do not pervert him with magic."
Yeah, but he could tell us who did it. Literally, he solves this riddle, this crime.
And
But-
then you dishonor him after he is gone.
No, it'd be great
Better-
honor. He gets to tell.
Better to cut him up and use him as food. To nourish.
I think the little one did it.
Marion, you eat chickens from another dimension.
What of it? It is meat. Meats are good the same.
Chickens from the demon dimension. And your companion here, your tribesman, has a spell capable of talking to the dead, and that is too far.
It is a perversion to profane against, to use such touched magics.
Some would argue that gathering your food from a place that's been profaned with magic is just as perverse.
Yeah, so's banging your sister.
I worry what others would think if we perverted our brother's corpse.
Omnom, what do you think of this perversion?
I think you are all guilty and must all be put to the stake.
I like Omnom.
I know.
He's the only honest one among us.
I like him as well.
Right. You think we're all very guilty, but on simply the merits of speaking to the dead, do you have any opposition to the idea?
Your existence is profane, and
Well,
the Fengar are weak. So there's little. You cannot lose honor if you have none to begin with. I care not. Let us find out who did this.
Now, Omnom.
I will say this. He was slain with his own weapon in the back. How would he know who killed him if it was in the back?
His own weapon.
This is Tyrant's Bane. It is a made, so the legend goes, from the tooth of an elder dragon. It has been in the Fengar family for generations. Bamey used it to slay the tyrant and earn the title Tyrant Slayer. He is the only one of the Fengar that has some shred of decency and strength. Not like this morsel here. Or his petulant sister.
This is a great feat, then. Slain with his own weapon. Bested. Not by an assassin, but by a warrior, perhaps, then. Let us investigate the area before we go profaning the body, shall we? And I'll head over, and I want to do a survival check. You know, get some tracks. See if the strength needed to wield this weapon as deep as it went. Maybe that'd be a medicine check. Have at the area.
Okay, which one first?
Let's do the survival, since no one's stepped in the area yet.
Good.
14.
All right. You examine the ground for tracks. You notice that there are several lizard folk tracks of different sizes, including Miriam's, that are leading in and out of the room. The area where the corpse is, you see the tracks of 3 humanoid pairs of feet. Like human footprints. And
Like
not
booted?
one, but not booted per se. Something more, not quite barefoot, but not booted, maybe in a slipper range.
Okay.
And 3 sets of identical tracks. So the size of the feet are the same. So 6 different feet, but all the same. And you can tell this, that it's not just one person walking over multiple areas, that it would have to be 3. You see Bamey's footprints, and you also see the footprints of a larger lizard folk foot. So 5 total pairs of footprints.
Would lizard folk... Sorry, this is more of a campaign question, but do lizard folk leave, big lizard web footprints? They don't leave... I mean, they're not wearing shoes, right?
It'd be scratchings, but the place is not swept at all. So generally speaking, there's layers of dirt on everything because it's a stone cave.
Okay.
So you can make out impressions on the surface of the stone and dust. And detritus.
Mm.
I see. A new theory arises. Orps mans. Not wanting to be eaten, they have allied themselves with the sister, who wishes the fang. In conjunction with the delicious manses, slaves, taken, they have conspired, as human beings, to murder this man, to set in motion a scaling and we will find our answer there, in whatever food pit Orp's morsels are kept in.
To the foot. What did you see to come to this conclusion?
2 sets of humanoid feet.
3.
In 3 sets of humanoid feet, walking amongst this area
Do they go anywhere?
to the corpse.
Oh,
Away.
it's a good question that you can answer that I didn't answer for you.
Okay.
So I'll provide you with that information. 3 of the sets of feet walk to Bamy's corpse. 3 of the sets of feet also walk to the chest in the back.
There we are. The humans have walked to the chest as well, then.
But where did they go after that?
Can I proceed with the tracking?
Yes, for the weapon. You want to check
Oh,
the weapon.
to see if the feet left. Did they leave out the front, as best
They
I
do.
could tell?
Yes.
Okay. And they absconded with the egg. Now with a valuable hostage for their great works.
Can we track them to where they've gone?
There'd be too much traffic in the hall there. The trail would end here. This weapon, however, is embedded deep, and we can assume that these lizard tracks were the ones that made the kill, perhaps aided by these 3 humanoid figures. And now I will inspect the spear.
All right, investigation check, please.
15.
As you grab it to judge its weight, Miriam explains that it was made, that this polearm was made from the tooth of an elder dragon that was slain by an ancestor who traveled beyond the veil. It was a dead thing. And he brought the tooth back and carved it down into what you see. It's about 50 pounds. It is heavy as sin. No humanoid without like a strength of 18 at the very least would be able to pick it up and wield it effectively.
I think that clears our names. I've got a strength of 12. That thing's not going anywhere.
I got a strength of 10. I didn't touch it.
Like somebody, you guys could lift it because you can carry 50 pounds, but nobody's fighting with it effectively unless you've got massive strength. And even if you had that massive strength, it would be very difficult to wield.
I also don't have a polearm mastery, but
You get the
perhaps
sense
that's too
that
specific.
the way this weapon works, because it's used to face big things, that you would wedge it into the ground and use a beast's force against it to impale it, right?
Nice.
But if you were strong enough, you could throw it. I'm sure Orp could wield it just fine.
Orp did it.
It'd be like a toothpick in his hand.
Orp the murderer.
My theory stands.
So that means we could then... He potentially saw something before he died.
It was in the back, and as we can see from these tracks, there doesn't appear a need to profane the body. He was attacked from behind, in this room,
By all 4? No one came around front?
only after he had fallen. If the tracks are to be believed. But it was a lizard folk who made this blow. Now, how perfect is it that it was 3 humanoids and 1 lizard? Luckily, we were at dinner.
So what does this mean then? 3 humanoids and 1 lizard. There are 3. You brought 3 humanoids to town with you, but I'm fairly certain they were all seen in the dining room and in the lounge. Not one of them left. Oh wait, one of them did leave. And he looks over to Nash.
We could check Nash's foot against the footprints, yes?
Hope.
That's a good idea.
Lizard folk track animals?
Just knowing what kind of
Yes,
shoe.
the red one has a good idea. Let us see this Nash's foot.
Whoops!
Got a real Cinderella moment coming up here.
Oh dear.
You will find, I'm sure, that the foot matches because this is a deception. 1 lizard and 3 humans. How coincidental. What a perfect night for this.
It is true. We are at a disadvantage because lizard folk do not deceive one another. We are opaque about what we think. So, yes, I suppose you would be an expert at this.
Tell me.
If you do not feel it is Nash, his footprints, and even if it matched, it would not be him, then I do not know how your brain does not explode.
My brain does not explode, Omnom, because you have profaned your own capital by bringing humans here. Where are they kept? Where are Orp's delicious bits?
They are kept below the throne room, in the man's pit.
How coincidental.
There is no way they could ascend here without being seen.
2 sleeping gods, perhaps?
They are Billies of the Hill. How do they know they do not have the touching? That we know of? We ask them when we detain them, are you touched? And they usually scream pitifully. So we punch them. To not hear their mewling.
That is not how you get answers from humans.
That may be. I have little patience for getting answers from humans.
That is why I respect you. We must continue our investigation elsewhere.
Very well.
What about speaking to the body? Surely we can get some useful information from it.
I would much prefer if we didn't profane his body with magics, but I do admit to curiosity over who did this. If it was not you, Vorel, and I believe it was not, because then why would you issue a scaling? What? It makes so sense to my mind that it would be you. Then one of the lizard folk clans, even if the humans have participated as you suggest, one of them have broken with tradition and is deploying deceit and subterfuge to undermine my house. And for that alone, they should be slaughtered.
The question...
I agree. Let the slaughtering commence as soon as possible.
The question, Miriam, is who is going to benefit from your brother's death? Now, right now, all of us are the obvious prime suspects. We're here for one very specific purpose, one your brother wasn't preventing, one that adding your sister to the scaling isn't going to help in any way, shape, or form. However, your sister now being involved in the scaling does seem to put your house in a rather advantageous point. And if I'm remembering correctly, and tell me if I'm misinterpreting your traditions, you said that she would not be able to issue such a challenge were her brother actually alive.
It is the eldest of a house that issues scaling for Great Fang. She is now... Oh, excuse me. We'll say Omnum said that. And then Miriam says, yes, that makes sense. I can see how you might think that Bami being slain allows Zershil to issue a scaling. However, 15 of the greatest warriors in all of Rajik Val have challenged Orp, and they've all lasted but 2 seconds before him. Now my sister is many things, but she is no fool. Perhaps because of Bami's death, she is weakened by her emotion and made a hasty decision. But I can't... she would be smarter than that. To do all this subterfuge just to die before Orp. And he looks to you, Vorel, and he says, no offense, Vorel, but I do not expect you to win. Why do you think I've been so welcoming to you? It's your last day on Earth.
You know nothing of my power and what I possess. And
That is true.
Give my chest a little beat next to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was no warp? What if we have left the throne room, the story room? Baron, what if the mans were poisoned? What if Orp was removed from the battle?
It would bring great dishonor, but Orp is healthy as far as I can see. he's been eating men's all day.
With all this in mind, let us confirm the treachery towards Nash with the boot. I can only assume that our investigation of the dead body will provide a scream of, "I am Nash, Maggot of the Solar Mines," and I stab you in the back.
Fair
Does
enough.
that mean you want to check the boot?
They're going to check
Yes.
my boot to the print. Bo, I would like to cast something.
Do you want people to take their headphones off?
Yes. Just for a second. This
So-
won't take long.
All right, Nash needs Scott needs a private.
Only
moment
take a
with the-
second. I am going to.
It's
I
just
gotta
you and me.
find where the hell I put it. Oh, alter self. Second level. And I'm going to change my leg.
So before we get too big on this plan of action,
Yeah.
the components required are verbal, so you'll be chanting some magic words,
Yeah.
and somatic, so you'll be making some hand gestures.
Can I
It
do?
may be obvious, not to the lizard folk around you, although there is one spellcasting lizard folk there, so she'll know that you are casting a spell upon yourself before being checked, and you'll look guilty as sin doing it.
I will do that. Can I do it where I have my back to her and only my friends see it? Is that
It'll still be
possible?
known because you'll be chanting magic words, and you'll be making. It requires somatic, so it requires some hand gesturing. This isn't a stealthy spell.
Shit.
There are ways for sorcerers to do that, but I don't think you have the meta magic feature for
No,
it.
I don't.
So stealth is not really. No, you have twinned and careful spell, so no.
All right.
You don't have a way. So the unfortunate thing about magic is that it's actually usually very obvious that you're casting spells most of the time. And
Right.
There's no roguish way to do this.
Yeah.
You'd have to like excuse yourself and then change the feat.
Yeah. I mean, what if? How far is the bathroom? How far is the shitholes?
It's back. The poo catchers is down the hall and around the corner.
All right, bring everybody back in.
Okay, everyone back in.
I would be glad to offer my foot as proof that I was not involved in this to both you and my friends, but this place has given me a touch of the runny butt, and I need to get back to the. I need to get back to the poo holes, just briefly, so I can. We're gonna have a problem in here, and nobody wants to gonna have this problem. I promise you. So let me just
No,
give me.
insight check on Varel.
On Varel.
Or Nash, sorry. No, Varel, you're fine. Varel's A-okay. I'm insight checking
I am sickened
Nash.
by the runny butt.
Okay.
That's
Everyone but John, headphones off, please.
it's a 20, not natural.
So your read on him is, in case you didn't already figure it out personally, is that he's not being truthful about something. That's what you got.
All right.
Do you want any more detail, or
No, that's it. I
no?
just
But
wanted
you
to
know
make
him
sure
well
that-
enough, and your read on him is that like he's clearly covering up for something. All right, everyone back on.
We back?
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
So can you you have to go to the running butt.
And I'll even offer if someone wants to come with me and prove that I'm not going to go anywhere. I just have to go, and it needs to be soon.
Nash, I think you've done more than enough so far. I think you need to stay with us.
Oh,
Omnom speaks up and says, "Well, if the man must evacuate his feces from his hole, then let him do so. I do not wish to smell human feces."
that's what's happening. You'll have a whole new kind of evidence in here. As if you guys
But-
want that, that's fine.
But Stanley could clean it up
That's true.
immediately as it happens, and then we wouldn't.
We have
to
poo
smell it.
catchers. We have poo catchers to catch the poo.
Well, we have a poo disappearer,
Okay.
what?
so that way everyone's here. We're all being watched, and
We do
Hope
not
is
wish the poo
staring
to
at Stanley
disappear.
during this.
We do not wish the poo to disappear. We use that poo
Yes, they use it, and I need to use it.
for
So
the ovens.
can I?
How do you keep your hearth warm?
I just am worried Nash would come under scrutiny for leaving.
They can. Look, I just want someone to stand outside the door. I'm not going to escape. I'm just going to go do my business and come back out.
We will send one of the guards and one other with him.
Yes, and then we can put my foot down and let's go. But I've got to go now. I've got to go. Seriously, I'm a turtle. A
Just
turtle.
gonna look at Stanley.
There's a turtle head. I mean,
he knows something.
Stanley just looks and just kind of gives a little like
No one's going. No, I'm trying to let it so that one of the party could maybe go with him. Is no one going with him?
you guys
I
can
will go with him.
All right.
I am confused, but if you must defecate, let us go.
All right. So Miriam points. He says, "You over there, you join them as they leave, and bring them back and observe them." And Nash starts running out of the room, and the attendant follows after. And Varel, I assume you go too.
Yes.
All right. So you watch Nash sort of careen down the hallway.
Am I anywhere
And
near him, near Varel? I need to talk to him.
They're behind you. Varel, are you running?
Hey, if he's running, I'm running to catch up.
Okay.
I'm trying
so
to run
Varel's
alongside
near
him.
you, and the guard's running as well.
Okay. Is the
You guys
guard?
run to you guys are running down the hallway to the bathroom.
Is the guard? Is the guard within hear? Can he hear anything I say if I say it quietly to Varel?
Yes. But now, John and Kristen, headphones off,
Can
please.
leave.
Yeah.
All right. So the guard's with us.
Yeah. So you run around the corner, and the poo catcher hole is in front of you. The room.
I say,
You turn
all right.
around.
I turn around and I go, Varel, guard, just relax here. And I look at Varel very sternly in his face and say, trust me, I won't be long. Just trust me.
Very well, Nash.
Do you trust me?
You can do it all by yourself.
Okay. Just trust me. All right. And then I turn around. Does that need to deceive the other guy, or you tell me?
The guard looks at you and says, "Will we not go and watch him poo?"
No, I can't. I get shy, and then that's a real problem because it's going to be way worse later.
Deception roll, please.
Oh shit.
Wait, aren't there other people in there? It's a public series of holes.
Oh yeah, there are other people in
as
here.
you look in, there are no other people in there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Currently
that couldn't have been. Well, it could have been a little better, but let's see. That would be. Hold on, my math brain's not working. So it'd be another. So it'd be 23. Sorry, 23. Deception.
Okay, so you see Nash say this, and you know for sure, Varel, that there's a deception going on from Nash, and the guard looks to you to confirm that this is okay.
Nash,
Yes.
do you require aid?
No. I'll just if you can just stay here and give me a little privacy. We humans don't like doing this out in the open.
Nash, have you discovered a lower class of lizard folk that you are hoping to aid in their plight to rise?
No. I just need to poo, and trust me, I won't do anything to hurt us or cause any problems. You just have to trust me, and I just need you to look away because we're humans. We like our privacy. You lizards with your incest and your poop out in the open, it's fine. I don't have judgment. I'm just
Nash,
saying.
you publicly showed us the bucket once. You declared that you pee in a hole you dig.
I know, but I don't do it in front of you. I just tell you about it. And it's because you're my friends. I wouldn't do that to people I don't know. I mean, okay, you know what? You can come in with me, but the guard needs to stay.
Very well. Guard, he is clearly very sensitive. Our time together allows him to relax.
All right, so the two of you enter into the poo catcher.
All right, I go into the poo catcher, and I'm like, all right. We out of earshot of the other guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, you've got to trust me here, but I need to change my feet to not be my feet anymore. And I need to fool them into thinking I don't have any of those footprints in that room. But you need to trust me because we don't have a lot of time. I did not kill the prince. I came nowhere near killing him. And I can tell you more about this later when we're out of this place. But for now, you just need to trust me that I didn't kill him, that I need to have this moment here to cast a spell on myself to change my feet so that I will not be implicated in this, because if I don't, I might be. And then it's a
Nash.
problem for all of us. Do you understand?
The idea was that your feet would match, and we could prove that we are being stood up here.
I understand that, but if they think it's my feet, they'll think I did the murder. They'll think I did the killing.
That's the idea, so we can continue to pursue the line that we are being impersonated. Your feet must match.
Oh, shit.
Well, what do you guys do?
Oh. I don't want to go to lizard jail, Varel. I don't want to
jail in the toilet.
No, I'm telling you, I can't.
We hear a
tell you-
voice come out of the poo catcher hole. Hello,
Oh, hang on a second there, Chief.
are you pooping?
Yeah.
I have the bucket ready.
I appreciate that. Just a second.
Why does everyone need to poop after eating meat? It takes hours.
Well, I'm sensitive, so actually, I don't even need to go. So hold on a sec. Here's what I'm gonna do. And I reach in my robe and I pull out a handful of that bat quantum I've been carrying around for like half our campaign.
Yep.
And I just squeeze it into like a little log and just toss it down at the guy to keep him happy.
Here, whoa. Ooh. From the hole. Your feces is unusual, says a voice from the hole.
So it's okay. It's fine.
I don't think we can keep this.
Hold on. I'm conjuring up another one. Hold on to it. And then I say, all right, we don't have any more time. Are you telling me you want me to look guilty? Because I promise you I didn't do it.
I trust you, Nash. I know you couldn't have wield that spear. You are far too weak.
Yeah.
However, there does seem to be a tale you need to tell me. Maybe about your friend you found.
Well, it wasn't so much a friend as it was friends. And they're not so much friends as they are. Oh, you know how you ever open a carton of eggs and wonder how they all look the same?
Each one has a very distinct voice around here, Nash. You should be able to tell them apart.
I want to tell you the full story, and at some juncture I will. Because part of me thinks he's just been fooled through this whole process, but let's just
You can do whatever
say...
you want.
I know. I mean, I trust... All right, so Varel, here's the quick and dirty. 2 versions of myself appeared before me while I was in this place. I went with them. That's a long story. We can talk about that at a different time. I didn't think it was possible either, and I can tell by the look on your face you don't believe me, but just go with me here. I spoke to these 2. They're from the future. They needed that egg in the chest. I said, okay, I guess if you are me and you're asking, then I must do it. And they claim this happens all the time. There's a time barf thing. I'll explain that later. But we went into that room. And we opened it with a spell, not one I had. Future Nash had one of them. We opened it up, and they took the egg. And while they took the egg, Bamey came in and started talking about the historical significance of the room we were in. And so I pretended to be interested while they basically poofed out of there. And that's the last I saw him. I left that place. I came back to the dining hall, met Lizard Lady near the poo holes. She came with me. That's it. That's the story. I don't know who killed him. I have no idea. And I don't think it was the 2 me's that were with me.
We must be heading back. Do you have this egg on you?
No, they have it. They took it. They needed it, they said. And they basically evaporated. They poofed out of existence. Probably some magic again that I don't have.
I see.
But they were me, but clean and in white robes. I know that sounds crazy. One of them had glasses and both eyes were fine. It's
Kyle's face right now.
It's complicated, but again, we can try to make sense of all this, but I promise it's not an illusion. It's not pixie blush. It's not me losing my mind. These things happened. I saw them. They took the egg. It seemed harmless. There was not to be a death, and I didn't witness it if it did, and I don't think they did it either. I don't know who did it. But if I put my foot in that spot and they see that I was in there, they're going to implicate me. If you're saying that's good for our cause, then I'll trust you. But if not, I need to cast a level 4 spell on my feet right now and get back there.
We must return. Our absence will be noted.
So
However, it is clear that talking to the dead will reveal the conversation you had with the lizard before they died, as they were stabbed in the back. You were the last person they saw.
I didn't think about that. How far back can they talk? If the dead can... I mean, do they have a limit? Or is it their whole life?
Surely they would not inspect all matters of their lives. Just the final seconds.
Maybe you can be the interrogator and just say who killed you, and that's it. And he won't recognize me. I'll stand out of the way. I don't know.
He will have his own lizard assumptions even in death. He will assume you were the one behind him. I'm sure of this.
Well, shit. Do you want me
We
to...
must go.
Nope. All right. No no change in my feet.
Do not change your feet.
All right. I throw another handful of bat guano down to the guy and then leave.
He goes, "Ew." All right, people back. Let's get everyone back. You guys return to the guard in the hallway and make your way back to the Chamber of Artifacts with Miriam. What's Molijanda? Yeah, Molijanda. Molijanda Zondlar, Miriam the Morsel, and Omnom Cinderborn, as well as some guards. You return there. Who returns into the room first?
I'll lead the way.
Yeah.
So Stanley Hope, you see Vorel make his way into the room.
I'll come next, and then the guard can be behind me, I guess.
Nash has used the last of his poo.
Do not...
How was the evacuation?
Do not
Nash
go in
Magnus?
there. I'm just saying, do not go in there.
Why?
I wrecked the joint.
You don't get to tell me where I can go.
It's your funeral, man. That room is a toxic waste dump now. Good luck.
Or would you say Nash's business was a little poo or a load of shit?
About a pocketful.
Such urgency from such a small amount.
Well, sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes you think it's the world back there coming out, and then you're done, and you're like, oh, either that just disappeared or there was barely anything. We used to call them, we called them ghost poopies in the solar mine. Go ahead, Bo.
Now that you've done your ghost poopies, are you available now to have your feet tested against the footprints on the ground?
I looked at Varel just to confirm one last time.
He agreed as much. Upon evacuation, this would proceed.
All right, let's go.
All right. So Varel, roll an investigation check as you examine the results.
All right. 18.
Take a good look at Nash's feet and a good look at the tracks. Everyone watches you do this. Indeed, in your mind, these are likely Nash's footprints. All three pairs.
Nash, take a step back.
Okay.
View. Nash's footprint, but 3 times heading in one direction. How can this be? Were there 3 Nashes here?
How is that even possible?
Well, if it is his footprints and there are 3 Nashes here, perhaps he danced.
You don't know me very well. I can't dance worth shit.
Then why are there 3 footprints matching your sizes?
I have no idea.
And Varel, your conclusion?
Something else is afoot here. There are magics that have been at play in this room that have stolen that egg. And perhaps unrelated, the brother has fallen. By, I believe, lizard hands. By another entity than that which stole the egg. There are 2 schemes at work. One for the magical egg. Magic working for magic that conjured these multiple feet. And then a murder. Perhaps to for one sister to join the scaling tomorrow.
You suggest that my sister did it.
It is the obvious conclusion. However, I do not say that lightly. We do not know the facts.
But you saw her in the main hall. She was furious. She issued a scaling of her own.
What are the...
The Fengod do not lie, do they?
How interesting of you to say this. My opinion of you grows.
We are not liars in the Fengod house. It is no light accusation to accuse my sister Zersil of lying. Our father would be shamed. Even
must
now.
find-
Oh, sorry.
We must find other means, then, to find this killer.
What about, do you have ways? I've heard of humans, most lizard folk won't speak of it, but I, Miriam the Morsel, am not most lizard folk. Do you have any interrogation tactics? Perhaps we can use what your humans know and your humanoids and this red one here of treachery to ask questions in such a clever way as to learn the truth from the one that's lying. There's no more expert at lying and treachery than the 3 humans in Razak Val in this room. Excuse me, 3 humanoids, softlings. If you are certain, Vorel, that they are not guilty, then we should use their talents, yes?
Companions, what talents do you possess for this matter? We must find an egg and we must find a killer.
Well, I've done all I can do.
What shit?
Look, Stanley, what's your explanation for 3 footprints of me? You know I possess no magic that can duplicate myself in such a way.
I don't know that, but I don't believe you murdered the lizard folk, and maybe that's enough.
It definitely is. And I try to look at him in a way that he'll understand. I'm thinking thoughts at him. He's not going to, I don't know, there's probably no way for him to tell.
Wow. Is that a magic spell you know? Or?
No, it's just me really hard wishing he understood what I was saying.
Okay. Well, your telepathy fails, as you do not know telepathy.
I do agree with what Vorel is saying. I think whatever happened here, we are looking at 2 different events. I think we are looking at a murder and a theft. Our task at the moment is to solve who murdered the lizard folk.
Omnom sort of speaks up and says, "At the same time, what does it matter? Bamey was weak. He was killed. He did not see his hunt come attack him from behind. Perhaps that simply reflects poorly on him, and we have given him too much credit as an honorable hunter. We leave him to die. We leave his sister to live or die in the scaling tomorrow. And we worry not about this.
I would think you of all people would be most concerned about this. After all, you're the one who seems to hate subterfuge and sneaking and tricks more than anybody. And what this suggests is that there is a lizard folk among you who is willing to employ such tactics to kill some of your own. I would think, above all, you would be the one seeking justice on this matter.
Such a one cannot remain hidden for long. Perhaps this person gets away with their treachery. But if you are in a world, in a great city, full of truthful lizard, and you are the only liar, you will eventually be found. Is everyone hearing me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, I get some lag from Scott.
We're all thinking.
Yes.
My camera's being weird. I apologize.
It's okay, as long as you can hear me. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
on the
totally.
show. Yeah,
Everyone else sounds great.
that's all that matters.
What were the properties of this egg?
to Miriam.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know much about the artifacts themselves, apart from what the legend is, but this egg belonged to one of the first Fengar clan. Back then, they believed in the prophecy of the Fengar, that we would rise to power. And at the time, the priestess of... which god was it again? Sorry, just one second, looking it up. The priestess of Persevius. Or, sorry, Persevius, yeah. Persevius the Gold, scion of knowledge, spoke to that priestess and provided a vision that the firstborn of that Fengar, Bello Fengar, that their firstborn would become Great Fang and would be greater than even Grosjean the God Killer. But that never happened. The egg refused to hatch, and great was the sorrow of Fengar clan. So great and in such despair was the family that they preserved the egg so that one day that prophecy might be fulfilled and the great hope of the Fengar clan will be born and bring us all to the seat of the stars, away from this world. That is the legend. Now, I don't know if I believe it or not, but that is what is.
Would a priestess of Persephus today be able to sense or find this egg among its people?
Perhaps.
That is
Perhaps.
something.
It is not for me to say. That is for the dragon priests to tell us if they can or cannot. Certainly, we would like to have it returned, but the matter of Bamie is more pressing.
Very well. Any more ideas, or do we fall to the ritual to speak with the dead and have them scream Nash's name with dead voices into our ears?
He can't.
I do not condone the profaning of Bamie's body, even though I think what I think of him, says Omnom Cinderborn.
But you said earlier, Nash says, you said earlier you were fine with it.
Well, I've changed my mind about such a matter.
Interesting. Varel, that
I
sounds
agree with Miriam that profaning his body is not an answer that we should easily turn to.
These people sound like the kind of people who maybe change their minds a little too easily once the first little trick of footprints didn't really work out in their favor.
I've said what I've had to say.
Hope? Anything?
Hope's just been watching Varel and Nash. No, Varel, you're the leader of this. You make the decisions.
Would make a cliffhanger to end on, maybe.
I do not.
Take all the time you need to make this decision. In the meantime, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Boom, 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 boom. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Something,
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's gonna be a bright, 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 bright sunny day.
Sunshiny day, I think.
Wait, was that ending music or?
No, I was just killing. I was killing
Oh,
time
okay,
while
just
you were
thinking
thinking.
music. Okay.
Nothing but blue skies.
It's like it had the opposite effect. You were completely distracted from the
Moshpishu, Molshanda.
Moosh Fishu. Molly Chandra, yeah. Yes.
What is this spell's properties?
It is a great magic where one reanimates the dead corpse and asks it questions impressed upon its mind. It can only speak in single syllable answers. 5 questions, and then the mind rots.
Tell me, where did you meet Nash?
In the Poocatcher hole. I was evacuating my bowels when Nash walked in, and we started a conversation.
This was a good conversation.
Not at first. He did not seem interested in speaking with me. But then I asked him to confirm that he was one who was touched, and I told him I was touched as well. Upon learning that he was touched, I was fascinated to know more about him. And even now, I find him quite attractive.
And then you two proceeded immediately to the story room
Yes,
where we met you.
Oh, yes.
that is correct.
As quickly as we could.
Yes, we did not go anywhere to consummate. I made an offer of consummation with him, but he said he was betrothed. And I said, what does that matter? And I ask you, Varel, why does that matter to humans and fleshlings?
They're emotional. Plus, their gestations carry with the woman. And it is a very personal matter.
I still do not see the sense of it.
I also told her I don't have any junk, but that's beside the point.
What is this junk? I care not what artifacts and items you possess.
No. I mean, my...
Nash,
Yes.
you took 3 poos this evening then.
Listen, Detective Varel, it doesn't matter. The third time wasn't... I didn't go the third time.
You didn't go the first time.
No, I went the first time.
The third time was with me. Were there 4 times?
Well, there are now a total of 4 times.
4 times.
The first time I went. The second time I met... Oh, wait, let me think about this.
The first time we didn't go.
No, I did. Don't you remember?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Yeah, I went, and then...
I'm staying out of this one. I'll just let you...
And then the second
GM
time...
doesn't even know.
The second time I met her there, I didn't go then, but we went back to the story room, and then the third time was with you, or no. Yeah, the third time was it was just 3 times. Right?
I think you probably only went twice. Actually, once.
Well, if you count Varel, I went.
You actually shitted once.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, you've been there 3 or 4 times.
I've been there 3 or 4 times, but I only had to poop the one time, and then the 2 times, one before and the one wink wink with you.
Wink,
yes.
Vorel, is there some reason why Nash can't speak plainly on this matter?
Nash believes himself to be stuck in time.
Whoa, wait. Hold on.
You're saying that in Draconic or Common?
I am saying this in Draconic because we've been all speaking Draconic.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
What does this mean?
No, maybe...
Is he not speaking plainly? And what does it mean to be stuck in time?
No, just nothing. It doesn't mean anything. This is a... Varel and I have a friendship that requires him to now not talk about it. He can't say anything about what that is. Don't worry, it's got nothing to do with this case.
Nash is known to have magical fits, and it seems he had another one this eve.
He burst into fire.
Burst into time would be more accurate.
What?
I'm as confused
I
as
don't
you
know
are.
what that means.
but he had white robes, and it was very emotional.
Yeah.
Hope's gonna look at Nash, very confused.
I mean, I had, let's call it a walking dream, and I told Varel about it. That's all you need to know. Or that's all some of us need to know.
I find this highly suspicious, Vorel.
I agree.
There's a tale of what happened this evening with Nash, and he has
Can
told it to you, but you're refusing to share it with the rest of us.
I meet
I'm
with my
sharing it with you right
companions?
now.
I want to meet with my companions. Can I do that for a second without you guys here? Can I meet with Hope, Varel, and John or Stanley?
The remaining lizard folk look at each other and say, "It seems very conspiratorial."
It's not.
I agree. I will not allow this. Not in my investigation. Nash,
All right,
you
fine.
may talk with Hope and Stanley while I explain the situation here to our lizard brethren.
All right, I'm going to do this in common. They don't know this language, right? They don't know common?
Miriam does.
Shit. All right, I'll just spill the beans. I took the wrong hero of the waste with me because as much as I respect it, he's too honest. He can't carry a lie through. So he wasn't going to help me be deceitful here. That's Nash's goof. All right. I say, look, Hope, Stanley, this is the truth. Because I'm compelled to get it out, so I've got to get it out. While I was
in common or draconic?
This is in common.
To everyone.
To everybody who understands common.
Okay.
I say out loud in common the events that we went through. I tell them about the two versions of me that came from the future, what they wanted, how we got it, where we met Bammy, when I left.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's right. You guys don't know this.
Some of us don't know any of what's happening.
He decided to paraphrase.
Yeah, I did. I forgot you guys had
Told them
headphones
about
off. No, I forgot you guys had headphones off. Okay. Let me explain it real quick. So, I went to use the can, and when I did that last week, I was greeted by a person, a humanoid personage that rose out of one of the poo holes, the one that I was using, and he had knocked out apparently the guy downstairs who's supposed to catch all the poo. That's how these poo holes work. And so he rose out of there in this white robe, and I noticed who it was. It was me. It's Nash from the future, and he said as much. And I was pretty freaked out, and he explained himself to me and started naming off things that only I would know. But then another one showed up out of another hole, also claiming to be from the future. Same kind of robes, clearly older version of me, but also he had glasses and didn't have one bad eye. He also claimed to be from the future, and both were claiming the same thing, that because they're part of some time barf, again, don't ask me what that is because I don't understand it either, that they were here to help me, that I needed to help them get this egg out of the chest in that room. And I said, after as best I could do to understand who they were and make sure I wasn't being deceived, I decided to do it. I went with them to that room. Bammy was there. He was describing the architecture and all of the stuff in the room. And we distracted him. We got there first, got the egg out of the chest through the help of some unlock magic that I don't possess. One of the other Nashes did. We opened the chest, we got the egg, and then in comes Bammy. We slipped it to him during a bit of a deception while we were trying to point at the ceiling and ask him questions about the architecture. They then disappeared and took off. And I explained that away, walked out of there, went back to the bathroom so I looked like I was coming from there. That's when I met her, and now you know everything else.
Question. You slipped what to who?
I slipped the egg that was in this chest that they're all trying to find right now. Because we're back in that room, aren't we? Are we in that room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The egg that Miriam here keeps talking about that was in the chest and stolen, I helped steal it. But I didn't keep it. I gave it to one of the future Nashes. and they took it with them. And they decided which one would take it, which was really weird and made no sense. But one of them took it, and then the other one went with him, and then I stayed. Does that make sense? I didn't kill anybody, though. I didn't kill anybody. I certainly did not kill Bammy.
Well, that much I believe.
I know it sounds crazy, and I need time to process it too, and I don't understand why it even happened. But I promise you it's not Pixie Blush. It's not my mind. It's not any of that, and it's not magic that was used to deceive me. They were real.
Nash, as you say this, a dark, cold chill grabs a hold of your spine.
Oh boy.
Because you know you weren't supposed to tell anybody. And Miriam, you glance at the eyes, and you knew that that future Nash had said it was okay to share it with the friends. But you see that Omnom Cinderborn, Miriam the Morsel, and Melisandre are struggling but understood enough that you've broken your promise, and you feel the chill run down your spine.
Okay.
And your position in the time barf is now in peril. That's the end of this week's episode. We'll end it there.
What?
Nash's failure to keep secrets.
What? The three of them?
What else was I
What?
supposed to do? Like, Pharrell was going to spill the beans anyway.
Hey man, it was your task, not Varel's task.
I tried at every turn to try to wink my way through this, to have my friends know what the hell. I was trying to hide this until we were in a place where we could talk about it, and I couldn't do it. So I had to. This is what Nash would have been compelled to do. Otherwise, they're going to throw him in lizard jail and eat him or whatever they're going to do. Feed me to Orp.
Well, it's unclear to your mind what exactly the consequences of what you've done are, but you were instructed by both Nashes not to do that. So we'll see what happens next week on There Will Be Time Barf.
Oh my gosh, time barf! You guys don't even know. All right, that's it for the show, everybody. Thank you for listening and following us on this strange, weird journey that we've all taken together. We'll be back next time with more, of course. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you can contact us through the website, therewillbedungeons.com. Don't forget to support us on our support system. It's linked right there. If you like this show, there's really cool levels, as I described at the top of the show. There's even more there, so go check it out. That's therewillbedungeons.com. You also find all our Twitter accounts, email accounts, all that stuff. You can even leave us voicemails, which I think we have one for next week even, so watch for that. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Bo, for John, for Kyle, for Kristen, and the little baby. We'll see you next time. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Well done.
Awesome show, everybody.
Yeah.